guys, welcome to Top 5 Tuesday. This week we'll be doing the top 5 leaders for set 1 of the Dragon Ball Super card game, so check it out.
Coming at you with number 5.
At number 5, we have Gohan, which in my opinion is the best green leader we currently have in the game. Now Gohan is very versatile. He can be both an aggressive deck and a control deck due to his Awakened Side ability. This also makes it very hard to play against Gohan. You never know really what he's playing, and his ability makes it very awkward until you get it down. If you attack Gohan to put pressure on him so he can't get his ability, you end up giving him a card anyway off of his life. If you don't attack him, then he does draw a card off of his ability. This can feel like a lose-lose situation. Until you kind of master it, it can feel very oppressive. He's also very good against stall decks because of this ability. What stall decks want to do is they want to keep you at high life and they want to attack your hand. Now Gohan gets around this by just drawing a card every time he attacks you when he's at high life. Now, Gohan isn't without his downsides, though. Gohan is very weak against aggressive critical attackers because these attackers take away the card he would draw from his life and shut down his ability. He also has no a way to awaken just basically, and so he relies on cards like Result of Training or Kabas or Furious Shell Vegeta to try to flip, and a lot of times this can lead to him losing a lot of cards in hand, even due to his ability, and kind of lead to a tough time. Now, I love Gohan and think he's a fantastic leader, and if you're looking for the top-notch green leader, look no further than Gohan.
Let's take a look at number 4.
All right, guys, we have one heck of a surprise at number 4, and that is Son Goku. Now, in my opinion, this is the most underrated leader we currently have in the game, and every time I sit down across from this leader, I am terrified. And the reason why is because of his ability on his leader side, which gains him 1,000 power for every 1 energy he has in play. Now, this can be a terrifying ability against the more control-y decks because they want to keep you on the leader side, and often they have already awakened, so they're not worried about leaders. However, with Son Goku, he can still put pressure on those decks. And to make matters worse for those decks, once he does awaken, he gets dual attack. And yes, he does get his buff for both attacks. And so this is terrifying for those decks because they have to deal with 2, usually 20,000 plus attacks, and they're just really not designed to deal with that. Also, Son Goku, because of this ability, makes some of the lackluster ramp cards like Whis extremely effective because they kind of serve a dual purpose. They give him an energy and they give him more power. He also pairs really well with cards like Light of Hope Trunks and can really take advantage of the dual strike granting cards as well, because a dual attack, double striking leader is terrifying. Now, the one problem, though, with Son Goku is he does rely heavily on this ramp, and because of that, because he needs to get to 7 energy in order to get his dual attack, he is usually pitching a lot of cards due to ramp, and it kind of has this slow buildup of a start. And on that same note, it also makes him weak to hand destruction decks because he's pitching so many cards to ramp, and because you're normally playing mono blue, he doesn't really have a way to awaken without using Result of Training, which can be too little too late. But he is still, in my opinion, one of the most terrifying leaders, and if you're not prepared for Son Goku, he will take the game over. So check him out.
Moving on to number 3.
At number 3, we have a fan favorite and a leader that's seen tons of success in tournaments, Champa. Now, in my opinion, Champa is one of the most aggressive leaders and pairs very well with blue, making him an extremely deadly and consistent deck. Now, Champa's ability that allows him to draw a card once a turn after attacking with a 15,000 battle card makes him a very resilient deck because he can always replace the threats that he plays out. Now, to make matters worse for opponents, once he does awaken, he can be extremely hard to play around because he can pitch 1 card out of his hand to give himself or a battle card double strike for the turn. Now, why this is such a deadly effect is because he can use it as many times as he wants in a turn, and he can take even the most simplest card like Boo, for example, and turn him into a double striker threat with combos. And this can lead to avenues where it's very hard to plan against his attacks, and when you're at 2 life, he can kill you from a multitude of angles. Now, the problem with Champa, though, is that he's very weak to stall decks because he is always playing threats out. His hand often is very small. He also has no way to awaken unless with results or Kabas, which are a way to awaken, but kind of unreliable against hand destruction decks. Also, his card advantage from his draw effect is only card advantage if the battle card survives. So once your opponent kind of starts pressuring your battle cards, even if you use combo cards to save that card, it's still not card advantage because you have to use a card to protect him. And that can really give Champa a lot of problems when dealing with those types of deck. However, if you're looking for extremely strong and aggressive deck, look no farther than the Fat Cat Champa.
Number 2 coming at ya.
At number 2, we have Ginyu. Now, Ginyu is the best yellow hero in my opinion, and for good reason. Ginyu has the ability to awaken himself by using his ability that lets him reveal one of his life cards. If it's a Ginyu Force card, it goes into play. If not, it goes into his hand. Now, this is extremely strong effect for Ginyu because it allows him to get around a lot of the stall decks that want to keep you at your leader side and attack your hand. Now, also Ginyu can be very tough to play against because he can be both an aggressive deck or a control deck, which is amazing. I love playing those types of decks because it always kind of puts your opponent in a guessing game. You know, which one are you playing? And to make matters even worse for your opponent, both decks are extremely strong. The Ginyu Force deck is a very fast, unforgiving deck that can put tons of battle cards out in the field very quickly and overwhelm you with numbers. While the controlling Ginyu deck gets to take advantage of some of the more powerful yellow event cards like Cold Bloodlust and Raccoon's Eraser Gun, which can really put a damper in their plans, and they're very hard to play around, which makes it even worse to play against. His Awakened side can also put tons of pressure on players due to its double strike and the plus 5,000 power if he has 2 or more Ginyu on the field. Now, while we're talking about this, one of Ginyu's big weaknesses is he is reliant on Ginyu being on the field when playing the more aggressive version of the deck. Also, yellow has some of the weaker battle cards, and so it can lead to Ginyu kind of not having a lot of pressure in the mid game due to most of the yellow cards only having 10,000 power. However, even if you're not wanting to play yellow or aggressive deck at all, just having the ability to awaken makes this leader one of the best in the game. So check him out.
Finally, number 1.
At number 1, we have the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta. Now, Vegeta is an extremely versatile leader that can be paired with any color to great success. He can be paired with red for an aggressive deck, green for a control deck, yellow for tempo, and even stay at mono blue to take advantage of his Awakened side plus 10,000 power when he uses his ability. Now, speaking of his ability, it allows him to awaken himself, which is an invaluable skill to have in this current meta. It lets him get around stall decks and put the stall on other opponents. So it's very versatile as well. Now, even though it seems like Vegeta can do everything, he does have a couple weaknesses. He's very weak to dual attack and double strike battle cards, because even though he has tons of cards in hand, those cards can easily take the game away from him by dealing 2 damage instead of 1. And since he's usually at 4 life quickly, that can spell disaster quick for Vegeta. Now, he's also weak to cards like Lightning Fast Hit that can, again, deal 2 damage just by evolving it. And I've seen a lot of Vegetas just lose the game to this card by not playing around it. And even when you want to play around it, it can be very difficult for Vegeta players to do. And finally, he also kind of struggles against leaders like Gohan and Broly because he is usually awakened very quickly, and those leaders excel at taking advantage of leaders who are awakened while they're not. Now, if you want to play Vegeta, please take your time, find the color combination that works best for you, and you'll have nothing but success with the Prince of Saiyans. All right, that's it for the first ever Top 5 Tuesday. In the comment section below, let me know what I can do for future episodes and what you think about my rankings. Did I get them all right? What did I mess up? What would you have done differently? And again, guys, thank you so much for all the support. I cannot explain to you guys how much it means to me with all the love and all the support you guys have given me. And in fact, yesterday we reached over 100 subscribers, which is amazing in just 1 week's time. I can't explain to you guys how much it means to me. I was literally running around the house. I was so excited. And so thank you guys again so much for all the love love and support. It really means a lot. I'll be back tomorrow for a gameplay video, and at Friday I'll be doing more spoilers for the next set. So again, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.